All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is Anuja Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone for 9 highway projects worth over 14,000 crore rupees in Bihar through video conference today. Government says minimum support price for farmers will continue. Railway starts running 40 clone trains with higher speed and fewer stops. Many states to partially reopen schools for students of class 9th to 12th from today as per Unlock 4 guidelines. Sikkim government imposes complete lockdown in Gangtok municipal area till 27th of this month. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic to clash with Diego Schwartzman in men's singles final of Italian Open. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lay the foundation stone of 9 highway projects worth 14,258 crore rupees in Bihar through video conference today. These highway projects involve a road length of about 350 kilometers at a cost of 4,258 crore rupees. Prominent road projects are 6-laning of 39-kilometer stretch of Patna Ring Road, 4-laning of Ara-Mohania section of NH30, Bakhtiarpur Rajouri section of NH31 and 4-laning of Narendpur Purnia section of NH131A. Paving the way for development of Bihar, these roads will enhance better connectivity, convenience and economic growth in and around the state. The movement of people and goods will also improve substantially, especially with the neighbouring states of Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand. More details in this report.
The Prime Minister had declared a special package for significant infrastructure development of Bihar in the year 2015. This included 75 projects worth 54,700 crore rupees, of which 13 projects have been completed. Work is underway at 38, while others are in DPR, bidding or sanction stage. Bihar will get a major boost in bridge sector too, as the Prime Minister will inaugurate 3 mega bridges during the event. The bridges include 4-lane bridge parallel to existing Mahatma Gandhi Setu in Patna, 4-lane bridge over Kosi River and 4-lane bridge parallel to existing Vikramshila Setu in Bhagalpur. Under the Prime Minister's package, total number of bridges over Ganga River are going to be 17 with a lane capacity of 62. This way, on an average, there will be a bridge over rivers in the state at every 25 kilometers. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate the optical fiber internet services where all the 45,945 villages of Bihar will be connected through optical fiber internet service. With KK Lal's report from Patna, Nitya Franco, AIR News.
The Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that opposition parties are trying to mislead the nation's farmers. He asserted that government is aiming to double farmers' income and the 2 farm bills passed in Rajya Sabha yesterday are historic and will pave the way in enhancing farmers' income. He added that farmers will continue to get MSP. He was briefing the media yesterday.
यह दोनों विधेयक किसान और कृषि जगत दोनों के लिए ये ऐतिहासिक है। इसे लागू करने से स्वाभाविक रूप से किसानों की आमदनी बढ़ेगी, लेकिन किसानों के बीच गलतफहमी पैदा की जा रही है। एमएसपी समाप्त कर दी जाएगी, एपीएमसी समाप्त कर दी जाएगी। हकीकत यह है कि यह दोनों बिल प्रभावी होने के बाद हमारा किसान अपना माल भारत में जहां भी बेचना चाहता है पूरी आजादी के साथ बेच सकता है, जहां पर भी उसको अच्छी कीमत मिले। न तो एपीएमसी समाप्त हो रही है और न तो एमएसपी समाप्त हो रही है। इसके पहले भी हमारी सरकार ने बराबर एमएसपी बढ़ाया है।
Parliament passed the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020 and the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020 with Rajya Sabha approving it yesterday amid uproar by the opposition. The House also negated the opposition's amendments to send the bills to the Select Committee. Speaking on the bills, the Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Narendra Singh Tomar, said that the government has taken several steps for doubling the income of farmers after consultations with the farmers and states.
किसानों की आमदनी दोगुनी करने के लिए सिलसिलेवार बहुत सारे प्रयास 6 सालों में किए गए। तो न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य के मामले में जब लोकसभा में चर्चा हो रही तो इस प्रकार की शंका कुछ मित्रों ने व्यक्त की। उस समय भी मैंने कहा था और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी देश को आश्वस्त किया है कि न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य का इस विधेयक से कोई भी लेना देना नहीं। न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य पर खरीद हो रही थी और आने वाले कल में भी खरीद होती रहेगी।
The two bills aim at increasing the availability of buyers for farmers' produce by allowing them to trade freely without any license or stock limit, resulting in better prices for their produce. They will replace two ordinances promulgated by the central government in June this year. The Farmers' Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill allows intra-state and interstate trade of farmers' produce beyond the physical premises of APMC markets. As per the bill, state governments are prohibited from levying any market fee, cess or levy outside APMC areas. The Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill creates a framework for contract farming through an agreement between a farmer and a buyer prior to the production of any farm produce.
In an effort to guard against myths being circulated on various platforms, we bring you our segment on fact-checking and mythbusters. It is a myth that procurement at minimum support price will stop after the implementation of Farmers' Produce, Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. Agriculture Ministry has clarified that procurement at minimum support price will continue and farmers can sell their produce at MSP rates. The Ministry said the MSP for Rabi season will be announced next week. The Ministry said it is also a myth that under contract farming, farmers will be under pressure and they will not be able to determine prices. The Agriculture Ministry has clarified that the farmer will have full power in the contract to fix a sale price of his choice for the produce. It said they will receive payment within a maximum of 3 days. The Lok Sabha has passed the National Forensic Science University Bill 2020. The bill establishes National Forensic Science University as an institute of national importance. The proposed university would facilitate and promote studies and research and help achieve excellence in the field of forensic science in conjunction with applied behavioral science studies, law, criminology and other allied areas. The Lok Sabha also passed the Rashtriya Raksha University Bill. The bill seeks to provide for the establishment of the Rashtriya Raksha University, Gujarat. The key objectives of the university include providing dynamic and high standards of learning and research and provide a working environment dedicated to advancing research, education and training in the domain of policing. The bilateral netting of qualified financial contracts bill was also passed yesterday. The bill seeks to provide a legal framework for bilateral netting of qualified financial contracts which are over-the-counter derivative contracts. The Lok Sabha also passed the Salaries and Allowances of Ministers Amendment Bill 2020.
The Health Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, has said that a lot of deaths due to COVID-19 have been avoided because of early lockdown in the country. The minister said that capacity building was done on a war footing to deal with the challenges emanating from the pandemic. Replying to a discussion on the pandemic in the country, he said it was NDA government's wisdom that it had made a provision of giving 50 lakh rupees insurance to frontline workers in the fight against the pandemic. Dr. Harshvardhan said Centre made all efforts to enable migrant workers to reach their destinations. He said that adequate number of oxygen cylinders and ventilators were provided to all states and UTs. He said that lockdown period was utilized so that all mechanisms to deal with the pandemic were in place and dedicated COVID facilities could be set up. Initiating the discussion, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor said that most of the countries across the world have either managed to keep its country safe from the virus at the cost of the economy or have kept the economy running while experiencing the onslaught of the disease. He said that the spread of the virus has affected the economy of the country and the government should have taken measures to keep the economy afloat. He said that the GDP will shrink for the first time in 41 years. The BJP leader Kirit Solanki highlighted the various steps taken by the centre to check the spread of coronavirus. He also said that the government has also taken care of the vulnerable and poor section of the society by providing financial assistance in the wake of the pandemic. DMK leader Dayanidhi Maran criticized the government for imposing the lockdown abruptly. The Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said that no significant or drastic mutations have been found in strains of SARS-CoV-2 in India till now. He informed that ICMR has been conducting large-scale sequencing of nationally representative strains of SARS-CoV-2 virus collected over the past several months over different time points. Detailed results on mutations and evolution of the virus will be available in early October. The minister was answering questions posed by his social media interactors on the Sunday Samvad platform yesterday. These questions covered a multitude of queries concerning not only the current situation of COVID, but also the government's approach to it and related topics like India's growth in the field of science. The Health Minister added that a major proposal is under consideration at the Expenditure Finance Committee level. They include strengthening surveillance of infectious diseases and outbreak response, establishment of dedicated infectious disease management hospital blocks in district hospitals, and establishment of integrated public health laboratories.
Talking to AIR News, Dr. Neeraj Gupta from Respiratory Diseases Department of Safdarjung Hospital, Delhi said that symptoms and conditions of the COVID-19 patients are not same. Studies have showed that there is a behavioral change in the coronavirus.
जो व्यक्ति रिकवर कर रहे हैं वो एक हर्ड इम्यूनिटी की तरह काम करते हैं, यानी कि जो वायरस उनके संपर्क में आता है तो उसको वो या तो किल करते हैं या इनएक्टिवेट कर देते हैं। तो ऐसे कुछ वायरस जो पार्शली इनएक्टिवेट होते हैं, यानी कि पूरी तरह से नहीं मरते हैं, माइल्ड वैरायटी बोला जा रहा है। आजकल वैरायटी थोड़ी सी माइल्डर साइड में लगती है, इतने पेशेंट सडनली सीरियस नहीं आते हैं, और जो आते हैं जिनको थोड़ी जुकाम है, खांसी है, किसी को बुखार चलता है तो 7-8 दिन भी बुखार चलता है, किंतु वो अपनी ऑक्सीजन मेंटेन करते हैं और धीरे धीरे रिकवर करते हैं। तो संभव है कि वायरस में थोड़ा चेंज आया है।
India has occupied the top position in the world in terms of total recoveries of COVID patients. In a tweet, the Health Ministry said, India's recoveries constitute 19% of the total global recoveries. It said more than 43 lakh COVID patients have been recovered till date. The total global recoveries of USA is 18.70%, Brazil 16.90%, and Russia is 4%.
A total of 3,812 new confirmed cases of coronavirus have been reported in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 2,46,000. Delhi government has said that over 2,09,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 3,742 people recovered and 37 deaths were reported in the national capital, taking the toll to 4,982. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the national capital is over 32,000. The Maharashtra government has said that strict action will be taken against black marketing of remdesivir, which is widely used for treating COVID-19 patients. There is a shortage of remdesivir injections currently used for the treatment of corona patients in Sangli and Kolhapur districts. The Minister of State for Health, Rajendra Patil Yadravakar, who was on a visit to the district yesterday, said that there are complaints that stockists are stockpiling these medicines and selling them in the black market. More from our correspondent.
Minister of State for Health, Rajendra Patil, said that he has spoken about the issue to 5 companies who are manufacturing the medicine, and the necessary action taken by them is expected to solve the problem. Hence, the situation in Sangli and Kolhapur district is expected to change and the stocks are expected to rise. However, he clarified if anyone is found black marketing the essential drug, then Food and Drug Administration has been directed to take strong action against them. Meanwhile, State Health Minister Rajesh Tope visited Pune's Sikkim Hospital, a major center for treating COVID patients in the district, and asked the hospital to complete the filling of vacancies of doctors expeditiously to effectively deal with the situation. Devendra Bhattacharjee, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Chhattisgarh, COVID-19 cases have surged with the number of total infected people touching nearly 90,000 mark. Faced with a challenging situation, the state government has once again imposed lockdown in various districts of the state. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Amidst a rapid surge of COVID-19 cases in Chhattisgarh, local administration in about 10 districts have decided to impose lockdown in their respective areas. In Durg district, lockdown has become effective since yesterday, while in the state capital Raipur and Sarguja districts, lockdown will be imposed from today. Apart from this, in Bilaspur, Balauda Bazar, Jashpur, Balaud, Surajpur and Dhamtari districts, lockdown will be effective from 22nd September. In Raigad district, lockdown will be imposed from 24th September to 30th September. In view of rapid increase in cases of corona infection this time, various district administration have decided to implement the lockdown very strictly. In the state capital Raipur, even grocery and vegetable shops will not be allowed to open during lockdown. All government and non-government offices will remain closed. Fuel will be given to only government vehicles or ambulances from petrol pump. Meanwhile, BJP MPs from Chhattisgarh met Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan in New Delhi yesterday. They have urged the centre to intervene and give necessary directions to the state government to contain further spread of infection. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
In Tamil Nadu, the State Health Department is augmenting its fleet of ambulances. It is aimed at reducing the response time of attending to the medical emergencies. More from our correspondent.
For the ambulance service, the response time is the main yardstick to determine its quality. It shows the average time taken by an ambulance to reach a place from where a call for help has been received. The State Health Minister Dr. Vijay Bhaskar has said the response time in Chennai has been reduced from 11 minutes to less than 8 minutes. Talking to reporters in Pudukkottai yesterday, he said in rural areas it will be soon reduced to below 14 minutes. The state earlier had 1,005 ambulances under the 108 service. Recently, 500 additional vehicles were purchased at a cost of nearly 104 crore rupees, and 120 of them are fitted with advanced life support systems. Another notable feature is that a smartphone app is being developed by the State Health Department for the public to track the movement of the ambulances. It will help reduce the anxieties of the callers and improve the service quality. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
In Ladakh, the number of active COVID-19 cases has crossed the 1,000 mark, with 45 new cases being reported yesterday. The total count of active cases in the Union Territory have reached 1,013. A report.
Ladakh has been witnessing surge in the COVID-19 count in the past couple of months. In UT, 45 new cases of COVID positive are reported on Sunday, which include 28 cases in Leh district and 17 cases in Kargil. With this, 3,753 persons have tested positive for the coronavirus so far, and there are 1,013 active cases in Ladakh. 2,691 patients have recovered from the infection, and the COVID-19 recovery in Ladakh stands is 71%. However, 49 patients have died due to the COVID-19 pandemic ever since the first case was reported in Ladakh in March. With Ramesh Chandra, this is Yangchan Dolma for AIR News from Leh, Ladakh.
In Sikkim, a complete lockdown will be enforced in Gangtok municipal area from today till 27th of this month. The lockdown was announced on Saturday following a spike in COVID-19 cases in the state capital. More from our correspondent.
During the 7-day Gangtok municipal area lockdown, movement of passengers and private vehicles will be prohibited except those involved in medical and essential services. All commercial establishments except medical and ration shops will remain closed. State government offices will operate with 30% attendance. Following the lockdown, the state government has allowed free interstate movement of people without any registration from 1st October and resumption of tourism-related services from 10th October. The Health Department will issue fresh COVID-19 protocol for interstate movement beginning 1st October. Tourism Department will also issue guidelines for tourism-related services. With Saikat Sarkar, Namo Dikshit from Sikkim for AIR.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone for 9 highway projects worth over 14,000 crore rupees in Bihar through video conference today. Government says minimum support price for farmers will continue. Railways start running 40 clone trains with higher speed and fewer stops. Many states to partially reopen schools for students of class 9th to 12th from today as per Unlock 4 guidelines. Sikkim government imposes complete lockdown in Gangtok municipal area till the 27th of this month. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic to clash with Diego Schwartzman in men's singles final of Italian Open. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at @AIR News Alerts.
The Railways have started running 40 clone trains from today in the wake of huge demand for travel on specific routes. These clone trains, primarily 3 AC trains with fewer halts, higher speeds and a departure time before the parent train, come as a boon for the passengers who have to travel in an emergency or have made last-minute plans. Waitlisted passengers on high-traffic routes can hope to reach their destinations 2-3 hours before the corresponding parent train. 10 trains will operate between Bihar and Delhi under the East Central Railways. These trains will originate and terminate at Bihar's Saharsa, Rajendra Nagar, Rajgir, Darbhanga and Muzaffarpur. The 2 trains operating under the North East Frontier Railway are also from Katihar to Delhi and back. The Northern Railway will also run 10 trains which will operate between Delhi and Bihar and back, West Bengal to Delhi, Punjab to West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh to Delhi among others. The South Central Railway will operate 2 trains between Danapur in Bihar to Sikandrabad and back. The South Western Railway will operate 6 trains between Goa and Delhi, Karnataka Bihar and Karnataka Delhi. The Western Railway will run 10 trains between Darbhanga in Gujarat, Delhi Gujarat, Chhapra to Gujarat, Mumbai to Punjab and Ahmedabad to Patna. The schools in many states and union territories will partially reopen from today for students of 9th to 12th classes on a voluntary basis. These states are Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Nagaland, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir and Chandigarh. Under Unlock 4 guidelines, the central government had permitted the states to reopen schools from September the 21st. However, the states have the authority to decide whether they want to resume schools from today or not. Citing the high number of coronavirus cases, many states including Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal have announced not to resume classes from today. According to the Unlock 4 guidelines, schools are allowed to open with 50% teaching and non-teaching staff. Students of classes 9 to 12 are permitted to go to school strictly on voluntary basis. The students will have to get a consent slip from their parents to attend the schools. However, the students and teachers who live in the containment zones are not allowed to attend schools. All the coronavirus preventive measures such as maintaining social distance, covering face with a mask or cover, washing or sanitizing hands need to be strictly followed.
In Madhya Pradesh, the monsoon session of the State Assembly is starting from today. However, due to COVID-19, the session is limited to only one day. Arrangements have been made in all districts of the state for legislators who want to attend today's one-day session of the Legislative Assembly virtually. Pro Tem Speaker Rameshwar Sharma said MLAs have been given an option to attend virtually in view of the pandemic.
Assembly officials informed that arrangements have been made at the National Informatics Center NIC in every district for the legislators who will virtually participate in the proceedings of the Assembly. The effective strength of the 230-member House has been reduced to 202 now due to death of 3 MLAs and resignation by 25 other MLAs earlier. As per the information, about 40 MLAs had tested coronavirus positive so far. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 cases in the state climbed up to 106,000 after 2,579 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. As per the State Health Bulletin, 2,216 coronavirus patients were discharged from the hospitals yesterday, taking the number of recovered cases in the state to 81,374. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
The monsoon session of Gujarat Assembly begins today with strict adherence to COVID-19 protocols. Nearly 20 bills will be taken up for discussion during the 5-day session. More from our correspondent.
Gujarat Assembly Speaker Rajendra Trivedi has made special arrangements for the monsoon session amid coronavirus pandemic. Visitors will not be allowed in the House during the session. Instead, many legislators will sit in visitors' galleries to maintain the social distance. COVID-19 test is compulsory before entering the Assembly Secretariat. People with COVID-19 positive results will not be allowed to enter the House. According to sources, more than 500 staff members of Assembly have been tested during the last 2 days, out of which 5 employees found positive. 4 MLAs also found found COVID-19 positive ahead of the monsoon session. There will be no question hour during the session. However, legislators can raise important issues through short call notice. On the first day today, the government will present the report on the work done to fight the COVID-19 pandemic in the state. Yogesh Pandya, Air News, Ahmedabad.
In our series on Seva Saptah today, we bring you a special story on education sector. In the last 6 years, Narendra Modi government has laid a lot of emphasis on the education sector. Recently, a new national education policy has been launched with an aim to transform the existing education system and to provide quality education to all. A report.
The new education policy will bring transformational reforms in school and higher education. The policy has been formulated after an unprecedented process of consultation that involved nearly over 2 lakh suggestions from 2,50,000 Gram Panchayats and 676 districts. The policy aims for universalization of education from preschool to secondary level with 100% gross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030. It will promote research and innovation in the country. This will bring 2 crore out of school children back into the mainstream through open schooling system. The new policy promotes multilingualism in both schools and higher education. Higher Education Commission of India will be set up as a single overarching umbrella body for the entire higher education, excluding medical and legal education. The center and the states will work together to increase the public investment in education sector to reach 6% of GDP at the earliest. With Dipendra Kumar, Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
In our series on Gandhian philosophy, today we bring you a report on Mahatma Gandhi's ideas about cleanliness and good habits. He pointed out the close relationship of cleanliness to good health. He had said that no one should spit on the streets as it is harmful. Our correspondent reports that Gandhiji strongly emphasized on observing cleanliness in lavatories.
Gandhiji had said that sanitation is more important than independence. He made cleanliness and sanitation an integral part of Gandhian way of living. His dream was total sanitation for all. Mahatma Gandhi said cleanliness is most important for physical well-being and a healthy environment. He said it is essential for everyone to learn about cleanliness, hygiene, sanitation and the various diseases that are caused due to poor hygienic conditions. Gandhiji said habits learned at a young age get embedded into one's personality. With Dipendra, Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
A meeting between military commanders of India and China is scheduled to be held this morning to diffuse tensions along the border between the two neighbors. Sources say the talks will be held at Moldo on the Chinese side of the line of actual control in eastern Ladakh.
World number 1 Novak Djokovic is set to clash with Diego Schwartzman of Argentina in the men's singles final of Italian Open today. On the women's side, number 1 seed Simona Halep of Romania will take on Czech Karolina Pliskova in the championship match. Delhi Capitals beat Kings 11 Punjab in the Super Over in the IPL at the Dubai International Stadium last night. Both teams scored 157 runs, which dragged the match into the Super Over. Punjab managed to score just 2 runs as Kagiso Rabada dismissed KL Rahul and Nicholas Puran in the second and third delivery respectively. Delhi Capitals then chased the target of 3 runs easily.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for the day. The national capital of Delhi is expected to have a partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature recorded was at 26 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected to be 37 degrees. In Mumbai, there will be generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius while maximum will be around 30 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature is likely to hover between 26 and 31 degrees Celsius. On to the north in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was 25 in Jammu while the maximum will be around 37 degrees Celsius. City will have a mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature was 9 while the maximum will be around 29 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature is likely to hover between 11 and 34 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad will see a mainly clear sky.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Almost all the papers have given their top headline space to the passage of the farm bills through Rajya Sabha. Hindustan Times reports stormy Sunday in House as 2 farm bills go through, while the Tribune says RS clears 2 farm bills amid bedlam. And finally, the Hindu writes, pandemic puts on hold age-old Kashmiri tradition, adding, eating from one plate ends at weddings.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lay foundation stone for 9 highway projects worth over 14,000 crore rupees in Bihar through video conference today. Government says MSP for farmers will continue. Railway starts running 40-km trains with higher speed and fewer stops. Many states to partially reopen schools for students of classes 9 to 12 from today as per Unlock 4 guidelines. Sikkim government imposes complete lockdown in Gangtok municipal area till 27th of this month. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic to clash with Diego Schwartzman in men's singles final of Italian Open. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.